Oh, hello there! Today, we're gonna be learning about colors. So we have a variety of different colors here. I've got red and green and blue. And we're gonna be learning about additive and subtractive coloring. We're gonna be learning about the electromagnetic spectrum. And we're gonna be learning about our eyes' sensitivity to light. I'm Zachary Anderson, and welcome to this Make segment. So, what I want to do is I'm going to be painting this beautiful picture of a flower. Look at this guy. And there's all kinds of colors that I can use, but I'm going to be using 3 colors today. I'm using red, green, and blue. And the reason that I'm using these 3 colors is because we know these 3 colors to be some primary colors, right? So there's a variety of primary colors. And I'm curious to know what happens when we mix these colors. Now, normally I don't do a heck of a lot of painting. Normally I like to do a lot of stuff with LEDs, but I wanted to get a little bit more familiar with some paints because I noticed something that's kind of interesting. So we know that if you mix red and blue, you're gonna get some sort of purplish color. And if you mix red and green, maybe you'd get some other color. But for me, whenever I mix all these paints together, I don't really get some crazy cool colors. I kind of just get like a bunch of black or gray or really dark colors. So you can see here as I mix these together, these are all becoming kind of gray and dark. And this is normally what happens when we mix all these colors together. So we normally end up with some sort of brown, gray, blackish paint. And there's a reason for that. That's because paints are actually or mixing paints is actually a subtractive coloring process, okay? So that means that as we mix these different paints together, it's actually taking away different parts of the electromagnetic spectrum. And when we mix all the paints together, we're actually absorbing a large part of the visual spectrum. And so we end up with sort of a dark, blackish paint. And this is actually the opposite of what you would see if we were mixing some LED lights together. So this black here, this dark color, is actually, it's pretty good for my black hole that's in the sky. So I've got this beautiful flower here, and then there's this big black hole that's gonna be absorbing the earth. Ah! Oh no! So here you can see my black hole, and yeah, this is what happened when I mix all the paints together, right? We get sort of this darkish, grayish color. And again, that's because painting is a subtractive process. Now, what we're gonna look at is the additive process when we mix light together. So we just finished looking at my painting, and we saw that it was kind of like a big gray mess when we mixed all the paints together. And that's because painting is mixing colored paints is a subtractive color mixing process. So we're gonna take a look at the 2 processes. There's subtractive and additive. And before we look at subtractive, let's take a look at additive, because it's always easier for me to understand how things are working. So we've got 3 different colors here. We've got green, blue, and red. And in the additive process, when we mix those colors together, we generate some new colors. And we saw that in our simulation. So we just saw too, when we shined that light through the prism, we saw that white light was actually made up of all these different colors. So when I mix green, blue, and red together, I'm gonna end up with a white color. When I mix green and red together, I'm gonna actually end up with that yellow color that we saw before. When you mix green and blue, we're gonna get cyan. And when we mix blue and red, we get this color called magenta, okay? So this is an additive process because when we mix all 3 of these elements together, we end up with white light. Now, so the subtractive process is a little bit different. When we mix all of these colors together, we're actually going to get black. And that comes from the fact that these things are not emitting light. So when you're mixing things that emit light, such as LEDs, you end up with a white light. But when you're mixing things such as paint, paint is not actually emitting light. Paint is reflecting light. And more specifically, it's absorbing the light that it's not reflecting. So, for example, if I have red paint, it's actually absorbing the green and the blue and reflecting this red. If I have blue paint, it's actually absorbing the green and the red and just reflecting the blue. And if I have green paint, it's absorbing the blue and the red and just reflecting green. So that is the difference between a light emitter and absorber, and the additive and subtractive processes. So if I mix, say, the yellow and the magenta together, well, the yellow is actually only emitting the red and the green, and the magenta is emitting the blue and the red. So when I mix those two together, the two that ends up being left over is the red, right? So when we mix these two together, we actually end up with red. When we mix these two together, we're gonna end up with green, and when we mix these two together, we end up with blue. And when we mix them all together, we're absorbing all of the spectrum, and that's why we get that black. Okay, so that is the additive and subtractive. Now, there's a variety of colors, and it's great that we can see colors. And that's partially thanks to our eyes. And our eyes are able to see these waves that are traveling through the air that are all part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, so that's a new word. That's a fun word, the electromagnetic spectrum. And it's actually used for a variety of things. So that spectrum is part of how we microwave nachos. That spectrum is how we look inside our bodies for medical purposes. That is also how we are able to look at cool images on the internet, right? Wi-Fi communications are actually using that electromagnetic spectrum. And most importantly, it's how we see. Okay, so there's a part of that spectrum between 700 and 400 nanometers, okay, very, very small, that actually shows us, our eyes, what all these different colors are. Okay, so our eyes are able to pick up these waves that are traveling through the air, okay, when they are within this range, okay? When they're within this range. And what we have in our eyes are actually cones that are sensitive to these three different colors, so the red, the green, and the blue. And these cones are not equally sensitive to all these different colors, okay? It's actually, we're actually most sensitive to green, okay? So our eyes don't look at all the light the same. They're actually more tuned towards green light. So for example, if I have a small amount of energy and I'm producing, say, red or blue or green light, my eyes are going to see the red light as a little bit dimmer and the green light as a little bit brighter, okay, for the same amount of energy. And that has to do with the sensitivity of our eyes. Now, different devices have different sensitivities, and different animals have different sensitivities to light. So it's pretty cool to think about things, not just in terms of humans, but also in terms of equipment and other animals. So let's go ahead and take a look now at some really cool things that we can do to manipulate our cones and our sensors so that we can see colors that normally we're not able to see. So our eyes are made up of these cones that have sensitivities to different lights, and we can actually manipulate these cones to see colors that we normally wouldn't be able to see in our natural environment. And these colors are known as chimerical colors. And here's a quick example. So we've got 3 dots here, and if you stare at the X of those dots, you're going to start to fatigue your cones that are sensitive to that color of light. And when they quickly switch back to those squares, you're going to get a mix of sensitivities between those cones that are fatigued and that new light that you're seeing, and you're going to actually be able to see some colors that you normally don't in the natural world. So for example, with this center one, that's probably the easiest one to do, the green dot. If we stare at that for a long time, when it switches to the white square, we should see sort of a pinkish circle. Okay, and that's a chimerical color. It's not a color that actually is there in existence. We're actually just fatiguing those cones so that when it goes back to the white light, they're actually both activated. The cones that normally activate for green and this white light is actually being activated at the same time, and it's giving us sort of this pinkish color, this pinkish circle color. Yeah. So these are known as chimerical colors, and they're one of the ways that we can actually take advantage of color theory. So thanks so much for checking out this video about colors. We learned a lot. We learned about additive and subtractive colors. right? Additive being mixing of light, and subtractive being mixing of things that absorb light, like paints. We talked about the electromagnetic spectrum and how light is actually in the electromagnetic spectrum between 400 and 700 nanometers. And we talked about our eyes' sensitivity to light and how it's not exactly perfect the whole way across. We are actually primarily sensitive to green. And our eyes have a variety of different sensors in them that are sensitive to different types of light. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.